What up? What up? We are back, episode 2 of Hump Day Ball Talk. It is Wednesday evening here at the boys in the B-Ham. Gentlemen, this weekend did not go according to plan for some of our teams. For some of it, it did, but it gives us a lot to talk about. We do have a lot to get in store, but let's go over these predictions from last week. Zach won. Obviously, low key dominated. He went 9-2 on his picks, literally
Yeah,
only missing the Bama game, which no one got, and the Clemson game. But besides that, Zach was great. Really right on the money with all of his stuff. Second there was Ramsey, 8-3. He missed the Texas game and the North Carolina game, and of course the Alabama game, which is going to be a constant theme today. Um, Noah, brother, T's and P's, T's and P's to your picks, my boy. 5-6. You missed the Texas game, the Clemson game, the Notre Dame game, the Alabama game, and the Cincinnati game versus Nebraska.
At least,
But
at least
there's
Cincy
always next
was
week.
close.
That's
yeah, we'll
true.
bounce back. You live and you learn. I'm glad we did not do national championship predictions because I look like an absolute fool today. But we'll cover that later. But boys, let's get into it. This weekend, really starting with this Texas game. Uh, I definitely all the hype come leading up to the season was this is game of the year, week one. And to the average fan, it was a hard watch. It was a hard watch, but we'll end up discussing it. Texas did go to Ohio State and lost. What was that, 14-7?
hmm
Yeah.
Um, Kind of a defensive wielding game. Both offenses kind of lacked, but if y'all want to get into it, I'll start with Ramsey like we did last week, make our way around the corner. Ramsey, what do you think really separated that game and what stuck out to you?
I feel like Texas played 90% of the game with training wheels on for Arch. He had 30, I think 38 passing yards going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And when they finally did take some shots late in the fourth, he looked okay. He missed some easy short passes early on. Neither of them looked that good. Sand to me looked better.
Okay.
So I think and Jeremiah Smith had some drops early too. But
Yeah.
that surprising. But I think if I had to predict now, I'd say Ohio State. I think their quarterback Sand will continue to get better. I think they'll be top dog.
Absolutely. I agree with you on that. Zach, my man, you did have Ohio State in this game. You saw it all the way through. You were actually the only one to pick Ohio State. What did you see from the Buckeyes and what did you see with Texas and what stuck out to you in that game?
I liked a lot of. I thought it was Ohio State's defense. Um, Kind of made Arch uncomfortable in his first start, or maybe third start, but first of the year. I did notice Arch kind of looked uncomfortable in a lot of his throws. He's got somewhat of shoulder going on or something like that, but
Weird
in a lot
sidearm.
of yeah, it's strange, and set he didn't set his feet a lot. I will say, some of those deep balls in the late in the fourth quarter on I guess it was their second to last drive. Ooh,
Yeah.
it's just like glimpses. Like you can see the talent there. He's just got to put it all together. And
Right.
then for Ohio State, I think that like Sayin didn't have a good game either. But I mean, I think these will be like top five defenses, both of them. So I mean, take it with a grain of salt. I do like CJ Donaldson had a crazy game. Um, or not crazy, but 19 carries, 67 yards in a tub. That'll get it done. Jeremiah Smith dropped a couple balls early, but he kind of found himself late.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't too impressed with the Texas offense. I think they got some work to do,
Yeah.
but they probably won't be they won't face defense like that for a while, so they'll be fine.
Right. Um, Noah, you had Texas with me and Ramsey. What stuck out to you in that game? And uh, as you were watching it, what just kind of gleamed with blaring light showed that one team was just better than the other?
I just feel like Ohio State had the better defense. They were able to unsettle Arch more than Texas was able to unsettle Sayin. They got after him more, and I feel like that made a huge difference in his ability on his throws. I feel like he rushed a lot of them, and that was a big thing. Um, I mean, I wasn't really impressed with either team's offense, to be honest. I don't feel like Texas has a wide receiver that they're going to put at number one after this week. I feel like that's going to have to develop a little bit more. Sayin is going to have to develop a lot more. They didn't give him a lot of chances to pass. I think he only threw 20 times, and he only completed 13 of those, which isn't bad, but you know, isn't what you're expecting out of the defending champs.
Right.
So definitely gonna have to see Arch get more comfortable. He's got to get more comfortable throwing on the run, because I mean, every team's gonna want to go after him. He's like probably the most famous quarterback in college football right now, so they're gonna be hungry to get after him. Um, but I think if they just get him more comfortable, then they'll be a fine team.
I will ask one thing. Do you think Arch is as talented as, and this is for everybody, and we can make our way around again, but do you think Arch is as talented, or do you think it's worthy to consider him a bust already? I personally don't think so. I think the kid's got tremendous talent. I think you just saw a lot of early growing pains of really starting, and I mean, hell, your first starts at Ohio State, like true first start is at Ohio State on the road against that defense. That defense was stacked. Ryan Day's play calling and just the turnover they had with that team and just the rebuild and then having to hire an OC and a DC and the way they performed that they did. I mean, I think that just added a lot of pressure. Would you say that he's a bust or would you say that he's still one of the top upper echelons? Obviously, I don't think he's a Heisman contender at this point, and I don't think any of us had him as a Heisman contender, but what do y'all feel like?
I think
Not yet.
he's gonna be fine. I don't think he's a bust. I mean, just look what he did in the fourth quarter. I mean,
Yeah.
it was obviously way too late. I mean, it really wasn't that late. They only won by a score, but still, in the fourth quarter, he turned it on, got some plays made. I feel like if he settles down, he's gonna be fine.
True that. Kind of looking at this game, if you like looking at it on the TV, like I said earlier, for the average fan, it was a hard watch. But I mean, if you really look at these stats and on paper, you would think Texas dominated this game. I mean, if you go first downs, Texas had 16 to Ohio State's 11. You look at total yards and plays. Texas had 67 plays for 336 total yards of offense, while Ohio State only had 54 plays at 203 yards. You look at rush yards. Texas outrushed them 166 to 77. You look at passing yards, which still kind of a low number. I mean, both these quarterbacks I don't think played that great. They didn't play to their fullest ability, and I think they'll learn and get better from that. But look, Texas at 170 and then Ohio State to only 126. And then you look at the completion percentage versus the attempts. You saw the 17 for 30 from Arch, and then you look at Sain's numbers, it's just 13 for 20. I think the real thing that really came down to this game, too, was time of possession. You saw 27, almost 28 minutes for Texas, and then you saw 32 minutes for Ohio State. And here's the thing. Like, yes, Ohio State didn't look like the same Ohio State team that they were previously, and I don't think anyone expected them to be that. But that defense was relentless. I mean, what was it? Two times that it got within inside the 5 yard line for Texas, and they stuffed it out
Yeah,
four straight times.
it's
I
impressive.
mean, yeah, I mean that defense was playing out of its mind. And if you're Sark here, I think if you were to say, let's say Thursday or Friday, if you say, "Hey, your defense is only going to hold these Ohio State Buckeyes to 14 points," I bet you feel pretty good about yourself. I like that. If my team can hold Ohio State in their house to only 14 points, only two scores, that's great. I'd live with that. But again, like y'all mentioned previously, I think just the matter of starting off kind of slow and then it never really progressed until like the last 4 minutes of the game. Then you saw Arch really dialing it up. And do y'all think that was just a mental issue, or do you think it was a little mix of mechanical issue with mental, or you think the hype got to him? Like, what do y'all think? Like for Texas going forward, what does it look like to get back on the right track? Because I think this team's fine, but what do y'all feel?
I mean, you saw like obvious desperation. I think that's the main reason they've wound up with what was it, 350 yard, 336. I think they
Yeah,
just got desperate. But like you can see that there's obvious arm talent there. He's just got to find a way to be more consistent.
Yeah, he missed some short passes that he should not have missed early in the game. But he has the potential. I just feel like he played with such a limited playbook, or I don't know what he saw. Like if Caleb Downs, those DBs and safeties just had it locked up for most of the game. But I don't know, just let it go a little more than that.
right. I mean, I definitely would agree with that. Um, Kind of just touching on this, I know this really didn't have any factor in the game, but we did see something very unlikely out of Jeremiah Smith. The man had some drops. Man showed frustration actually too. Took the helmet off after the play and was letting them have it. But you did see a couple drops, and he did start the game. This is just a fun fact. Started the game with one pair of gloves, and after the last drop, he switched to a Nike pair of gloves, which I thought was kind of
Did just
crazy.
fine after that. I don't think he
Yeah.
dropped another pass.
But all right, now looking at the Ohio State perspective, you get a win here, great. Now you're ranked what, number one as of tonight? Um, I mean, great win. I mean, any win's a good win, especially against Texas. You do it at home. What do they have to do going forward to keep improving? Because definitely we all feel that they did not display the best product on the field. Starting with Ramsey, like what do you think has to change for Ohio State to just be a more dominant football team?
Get saying comfortable back there because I think he has talent. Maybe not as much potential as Arch, but
Uh-uh.
he could definitely. I think he could take them farther than as far as they need to go with that
Right.
defense.
Absolutely. Zach, what do you feel
I
like Ohio
I
State
don't
should
know. I
work on?
don't love his skill set. I mean, he, if there is one team that can use like a game manager like that, then it's Ohio State. But like, I don't think he offers you much like versatility. So I'm not the biggest Saiyan fan, but maybe he develops. I don't know because his arm talent didn't wow me either. I mean, it doesn't look like he's got an overly strong arm, like Arch showed a couple times, but and then he didn't take off ever either.
No.
So I don't
No.
know. I might still be higher on Texas. Depends on how their development goes, but Ohio State's got the talent.
Right. No, what do you feel?
Um, so the last touchdown that Ohio State got was a 40-yard pass from Sand. So before that, he only had 86 yards over 12 throws. Not a great stat, in my opinion.
Right.
And that was in the fourth quarter. So going into the fourth quarter, he only had 86 yards. I feel like they got to let him throw a little bit more. Um,
I thought that was a
maybe I'm.
bad throw too.
He'll get better. You know, it's his first start, and it's against a
Uh,
good defense. It's against a good defense. It's not a bad defense. Um, I think it's going to be like an. I don't think he's as good as Arch, but I think they get him settled in a little bit more. He's going to be a much more consistent passer. Um, he's not going to have any big breakaway plays. He's not going to be in contention for the Heisman or anything like that. But I mean, he's going to be a decent D1 quarterback.
Absolutely. Um, just kind of a closing statement real quick before we move on to this LSU Clemson game, but um, I do kind of agree with Zach. I think I do have Texas higher. It really depends how September goes for both of these teams, but I think the ceiling for Texas at this point is still higher than Ohio State's. I think maybe just the play calling and just a little bit of a hesitancy was the big thing. But again, Texas won't see that type of defense till later in the year. So we'll see how they both develop. And I do expect Ohio State to dominate the Big Ten, honestly. I mean, you go out and you hold Texas to only 7 points. I mean, that's saying something. I mean, the offense may not look great, but overall, it's a win. A win's a win. So one thing my team did not do this weekend, but we'll get to that at the end. Next, let's get on to this LSU Clemson game. Boys, I doubted Brian Kelly. I doubted the Tigers. I said they're going to walk into Death Valley, keep it close, but they're going to lose. And I would say the second Death Valley, nothing beats LSU's Death Valley. But they really did it here. LSU 17 to Clemson's 10 at Clemson's home field. Ramsey, what was kind of your key takeaways and what stuck out with you in that game?
Uh, Holding Clemson to 30 rushing yards helps out a lot. I still don't think Nussmeier looked crazy good, but I think with their defense, they're still. I don't know how I feel about. I forgot about Brian Kelly. I don't know. I don't like his face or his fake
I don't
accent,
know.
but they did go in there and win, so I think that's a very good start for them.
Absolutely, no doubt. Zach, I mean,
Dude, talk about a miserable watch.
Yeah, that it was.
They're begging for
The,
this game to end. I mean, I don't think I have very many good things to say about either of these teams, or this game at least, because this was miserable. You feel like every time that one team would get some going, they'd have a drive killer, holding or some delay game or something like that. And I don't know, they just seem so undisciplined. And it probably cost both teams 10 plus points. Like we could have easily
right.
seen 34-27. Instead, Clemson's getting shut out in the second half. And I had both these guys in my Heisman race too, and they looked like it was the first game of the year. So hopefully, what did Nick Saban say is like the uh, best chance or the best time for growth is between week 1 and 2. So
Yes,
hopefully, we'll see some out of both of these teams.
absolutely. Noah, I mean, what do you got on this one?
Um, I think both these teams are really good, actually. Not maybe. I think that Zach's right. They're very undisciplined. They had a lot of penalty yards this game, but I had Klubnik, as my pick last week to win the Heisman. Not the case anymore. He threw for 50%, and against a good defense, whatever. But 50% is kind of crazy. Um, I feel like LSU came to play after halftime, and Clemson didn't. I don't know what um, Dabo said to them in the locker room, but it wasn't play your heart
It didn't
out.
work.
It was like go smoke a joint after the game or something. I don't know. Um, like they were not locked in. Um, Nussmeier, I think that he did pretty good. That was a good defense he went up against. They went after him a lot. They got to him, a few times. He had to make some plays with his feet, throw the ball on the run. But I felt like Nussmeier looking good for the first game of the season against a defense like that.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, Noah. I mean, I know I had Clemson in this game and they lost, but I mean, I think we're really starting to see LSU turn the page. I mean, it is their first opening win in 4 years?
5.
Five? Yeah, that's brutal. But I mean, hats off to that damn defense, dude. They played relentless. I mean, getting after Klubnik, really just making plays when they needed to, not trying to do too much, just going out and making plays, sticking their face in the run. I mean, as Ramsey said, if you hold Clemson to under 30 yards or right at 30 yards of
Yeah.
rushing,
Yeah.
yeah, that's domination, man. That's absolutely domination. And then more to
um,
Garrett Nussmeier. I mean, I don't really like LSU. I'm more of a LSU hater, but I mean, I have to go back on my words that I said last week. I mean, Garrett Nussmeier, I guess, I mean, you can say he didn't look great, but he had a quiet 28 for 38 for 230 yards with a touchdown, no interceptions. That was a big thing. Could he protect the football? And LSU did a great job of protecting him. They did a great job. Garrett did a great job of not turning the ball over, which has seemed to be a problem in the past seasons in big time games. But I mean, it's kind of unbelievable they actually pulled that off, in my opinion. But to Clemson, what are we doing, dude? I mean, Cade Klubnik seems like under pressure folds. He was missing easy reads. I remember I was watching kind of the post game, or it may have been after yesterday's practice. Dabo was talking about it, but said Klubnik missed at least two or three touchdown throws, trying to force throws, trying to do too much, and then the run game never got going. And I think that's what hurt Klubnik as well, is because if you don't have a run game to open up that pass, I mean, we can defend that all day. That's no problem, especially with LSU's just athleticism and speed. I think LSU had the better roster here, but uh, I'm gonna ask y'all a quick question about this game too. This was today's media. Dabo said that neither team performed great, and it was like if your buddy was sitting beside you at the test and got a 56, they got a 63. Meanwhile, Brian Kelly was saying he must be a hard grader and did not see the second half because we purely dominated the second half. How do you feel about that quote? Are you siding more with Dabo here, or are you going with what Brian Kelly said?
Dabo. Dabo's right.
Yeah, the
It
second
was like
half,
straight up.
I mean, I'm watching Instagram Reels most of the time. I'm not looking up at it. I was
Yeah,
about to fall
that's what I'm talking
asleep.
about.
Well, I think
I'm
this
not
is
lying.
a defensive game. You know, that second half, LSU shut out Clemson. I think that
Yeah.
on the
I don't
defensive side of the
know.
ball, LSU maybe not perfect, all right, but they did great. Yeah, they
I
did.
feel like if you are
That's
Brian
something.
Kelly,
That's something I.
you gotta talk your shit back a little if you're Brian Kelly. So
I
I
don't
get
know,
both
dude. Because
sides.
Garrett Nussmeier lost two fumbles too. Like they didn't play that good.
Right.
They couldn't
But
protect that dude. He
they
was on
forced the
his.
big interception.
No, they did. That's true. But I mean, how much of that is on the pressure that is getting to K Klubnik? Because like, or that's an offensive line problem. Like they're sending stunts and they can't figure out that both guys are getting passed. It's like, brother, make a read, call it out. But hey, I mean,
Um,
shit.
just
They
kind
both got
of
a lot
just
of room to get better.
yeah, definitely. I don't think Clemson's as good as we thought they may have been leading into the season. I guess that's why you shouldn't really trust preseason rankings and opinions and talks. But I think LSU's really turned this page. Just kind of looking over some quick stats from this game. If you go to first downs, LSU beat Clemson in that 25-13. If you look at total plays and yards, LSU had 70 plays for 354 yards to Clemson's 58 of 261. You look at those rushing yards, you see 31 carries, 108 yards. It's 3.3.5 yard.
I still see the thing counting
Yeah.
up.
I'm still.
I still see you. Oh, there he is. So, guys, how you
See you,
doing?
Reed. Good. How are you,
Uh,
BJ?
Ah, dude, I missed you, Zach. I hadn't seen you in a
I
while.
missed you too. You ready for tomorrow morning?
What
All
time?
right.
Oh, 7.
what's tomorrow
Yes.
morning?
We got our psych clinical.
Oh,
All right. Technical difficulties. That's my bad. I don't know why my computer did that. But where was that? Passing 29 of 39 for
Rush yards.
246. Yeah, Clemson only had 20 yards on 31 attempts. That is, or no, 20 attempts on 31 yards. That is absolutely terrible. It's 1 yard a carry, almost two. Congratulations, Clemson. You suck in the running department. Time of possession. LSU really dominated this. They held the ball for 37 minutes while Clemson only held for 22. As for turnovers, LSU had two. As Zach mentioned, it was those fumbles. Um, and then Clemson to only had one. But yeah, I think LSU's the real deal now. I believe in that team a lot. I know that may be a differing opinion to some in the chat, but it is what it is. I'll live and learn, and we'll see how they perform in September. But getting to our next game, this was actually a Sunday game. Miami, Notre Dame, Miami getting it done 27-24. And I thought the Heat was going to come to play in this game. Brother, it was the rain. Absolute downpour for the fellas. But Miami gets it done. To Ramsey, what do you feel like stuck out to you in that game for Miami and or Notre Dame?
Carson Beck, coming from Georgia last year, his receivers drop. I think they had the highest percentage of drops last year,
Mm-hmm.
and he still completed like 70% in his career before yesterday
Yeah.
or before Sunday. I think he looked pretty good against Notre Dame. I think a quarterback play made a difference, losing Riley Leonard and not running the ball with Jeremiah Love.
Yeah,
What is going on there?
that's crazy.
That is
Crazy.
crazy. That one-handed grab, that was
Insane.
clean. That was, yeah, that was a good game.
To Zach, what stuck out to you in this game?
Yeah, no, it was a good game. I mostly enjoyed watching this one.
Yeah, it actually turned out
Um,
to be game of the week, in my opinion.
well,
Well, like to
yeah, sure.
watch, to watch, to watch. Like to sit there for the average fan and watch them go back and forth. I thought that was a way better game than Texas and Ohio State and LSU and Clemson. We'll get to that Alabama game. Don't worry, I got something for that. I got something for
Yeah.
that.
Hey, can I
Hey,
go to the bathroom and join back?
Raise your hand next time.
Buddy, sorry to break it up. It's about to be a problem.
You
Go.
got it, bro. You got it.
Bro, you
he's
know
gonna
he's
sit.
taking
He's
his
gonna
phone in
stay
there
in here.
with him.
Uh,
Oh yeah, dude.
Zach, do you have
Jeremiah Love had
anything more to
14
add?
touches.
Yeah,
They gotta get that dude the ball more.
yeah,
Granted, he didn't do much when he had it, but gotta get him the ball more. Let him try.
yeah. Let him eat, dude.
Yeah, especially in a rain game. I figured they would have, but I guess not.
Um, is that anything else to add on that game?
I mean, I thought it was pretty even game,
Yeah,
like on both sides. I guess. I mean, pretty good matchup. Um, I do like Clem or not Clemson. I do like Miami's running game. I thought they got going
yeah,
big time against Notre Dame. Um, Still a little too many penalties for my liking, but it's just what's going to happen. Miami forced they won the turnover battle like 2 or 3 to nothing. So
yeah,
27-24 sounds about right.
yeah. Um, for me, I think kind of piggyback off what Ramsey said. I think it did come back to quarterback play, but Noah, what do you have on this game?
I did not expect that much out of Miami. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah,
I
you
expected
are
it to be
the
a
only one to pick Notre Dame.
expected it to be a close game. I didn't think Notre Dame was gonna come in there and whoop their ass at home. But Miami's defense really surprised me. I did not expect that kind of pass rush out of Miami because last year they were letting up too many points in games they shouldn't have. But this year their defense looked a lot better. Their pass rush looks a lot better. Their rushing defense was pretty good last year, but I mean it was all right. But I think their defense as a whole kind of picked it up, and I think that they're going to be an issue this year. Carson Beck didn't look fabulous, but he didn't look bad at all. But on the Notre Dame side, why the hell are we not running Jeremiah Love? Like, what are you doing? I think C.J. Carr, a few more games, he's going to be a good quarterback. Um, Nothing, crazy, but I think he's going to be a good quarterback. Just going to take development.
Absolutely. We've mentioned that quarterback battle this weekend for Miami and Notre Dame. I think it really did come down to some quarterback play. I think the inexperience of CJ Carr did kind of show in some moments, and I think Carson Beck, man, pulled it off. I mean, quoted after the game, Miami made him fall back in love with football again. Kind of a crazy statement coming from Georgia, but that's just my opinion. But also, I think Miami's whole play calling and scheme fits his play style. He's more of a flashy player. Meanwhile, Georgia's kind of a very blue collar team, hard nosed, nothing over the top. Just keep that head down, spot the damn ball, and let's play it. Let's see what happens. But I mean, I think if you're Notre Dame here, I think you're feeling confident about that quarterback, man. I mean, CJ Carr didn't get much experience, but I mean, he played pretty decent. I mean, I think you're fine at quarterback, and I mean, if Miami's a real contender, and I think Miami's a great team, and I think we all think Miami's pretty good. I think that's not a bad loss, man. And if you can just hang on to maybe a one or two all season, especially as Notre Dame being an independent, I think you find your way in. But that's neither here nor there. That's later down the line. Just kind of recapping some of these stats. You saw Miami's 20 first downs to Notre Dame's 18. You saw Miami's 69 plays on for 324 yards. While you look at Notre Dame at 58 plays, 314 yards. I mean, these are pretty split pretty evenly. Um, if you look at rushing yards, though, um, Miami kind of dominated this one. I mean, I say that, but I mean, I feel like they had big runs when it really mattered. They had 37 carries for 119 yards, maybe 120. And then you look at Notre Dame, who had 28 carries for just 93 yards. I mean, you got my Heisman. That's who I picked to win the Heisman in my mind. And where was he at? Why is he not getting more touches? I understand, like Zach said, when he did get the ball, nothing really happened. But I mean, I think you got to find more ways to get that guy the ball. If you look at,
especially in space.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Uh, you look at Miami's passing, 20 of 31 for 205 yards, two touchdowns. That grab in the end zone at the goal line was absolutely nuts. If you have not watched that, go to Instagram Reels. You'll see it all week this week. To Notre Dame's 19 of 30 with 221 yards and two TDs. But you go look at that turnover battle. Miami, no turnovers, which was outstanding. And then Notre Dame's two turnovers, kind of unfortunate. And I think that is kind of what kept you out of this one. Time of possession, Miami had it for 33 minutes, almost 34. And you look at Notre Dame's 26 minutes. And he's back. He has returned. He has risen.
All right, we needed that.
But I think for both these teams, I know Notre Dame took a hard one on the chin there, but I think you bounce back. I think the rest of the season looks great. I think you're confident. CJ Carr, he proved to me that he is capable of making throws that he should make and performing how he should perform. And for Miami, I think you're a real contender. I think you flew on the people's radars this weekend. I don't know. Everybody had all this talk about Clemson, Clemson, Clemson. Let me tell you, Miami's here. Miami's here to try to dominate the ACC. But now it's the time for the barn burner fans, the Auburn fans. I picked them
No.
for a reason. I knew I woke up and felt confident in my choice. Fellas, Auburn did it, and did they not just do it? They dominated. They
What a day.
dominated. That I mean, yeah, you can say they have some weak points. They got stuff to work on. It's week one, man. Everybody has stuff to work on. There's another school in Alabama that has a million things to work
UAB.
on. Brother,
One this week.
it looked like Trent Dilfer was coaching, but that's neither here nor there. Um, yeah, I mean, Ramsey, take us away. I know you were excited for that game. I was excited for y'all. Take me through that game. Take me through what stuck out and what brought it home for the Auburn Tigers.
I run the damn ball. That felt good. That felt good. Damari Austin. Who's the other back's name?
Jeremiah Cobb.
Jeremiah Cobb. What a day they had. Jackson Arnold getting it done on his feet.
Absolutely.
That I'm. It makes me a little nervous. It's first game of the year, so it's going to be some stuff. But I want to see him throw the ball. I want to see our pass block. I want to see that work out because I think a lot of it was him just not having time
Yeah.
and just making a play. So that worries me a little bit. But it is a much better start than I'm used to right now.
Zach, tell me how you're feeling, buddy.
Like, as cautiously optimistic as I can be.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, so I have like serious problems with Jackson Arnold. Um, and they played a good game. I thought the defense did. They light up a ton of passing yards, but that's going to happen when the other dude throws 50 times.
Yeah.
I think they sacked him 4, 5, 6 times, something like that. I thought they did great.
Yeah.
Got to shore up the defense over the middle. I think they threw a little skinny post 10 times for conversions when they needed it. They threw a ton, and they got most of them. But other than that, I thought the defense played well. Now, Jackson Arnold, he can run the ball. We knew he could run the ball. He did that at Oklahoma. He did it well. 16 for 150. That'll work. That'll get it done. Where I have problems is Baylor. Baylor's defense obviously doesn't have an athletic enough spy to keep him contained.
Yeah.
I think that every SEC team is going to have an athletic enough spy, except for maybe Bama, because God, dude, Castellanos ran everywhere. But
All right, kid.
look, look, every time I watched Jackson Arnold drop back, he would get through, he wouldn't even get through one read. He would get through half a read. And if it wasn't open in that, you know, point 0.3 seconds that he looked at that first option, he was taken off. I have serious, I got serious problems with that. I think if you can't like read the field, read the coverage, if you play in the very first SEC game that they play in, I don't know if they're going to move the ball. Like, maybe he'll get it done with his legs, but I think that if any team puts a contain on him with a spy that's any sort of athletic, I don't know if they move the ball ever. But it was a good win. They put up 38. We haven't seen that in a while.
You see
So
what losing does to people? Man,
Brother,
uh,
I feel like my team ain't far from what y'all used to be. So,
jeez, dude.
no,
I don't
I
know. I'm
agree. There's
scared. I'm
definitely
concerned.
problems there.
If you hold the ball for just look at two different receivers for more than a half a second.
Especially with our receiving core.
Yes, yes. Eric
yeah.
Singleton got like 3 screens, and that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Ken Coleman got one duck ass looking ball.
let
Well,
me
that's what I'm hoping these next 2 weeks will be. That's what they will
Yes.
focus. That'll be their.
If I don't see Jackson Arnold throwing the ball 35 times a game, I'm gonna be upset.
All right, I'll pose this question before I get it to Noah because Noah's the only one that had Baylor in this game. But do you think even though I got a feeling that y'all will take momentum from this, and I think y'all will probably have a decent season, I think y'all go, in my opinion, 9-3. I know my opinion really doesn't matter, but I mean, from the previous years y'all had 9-3 is a world's difference than the previous years. Do you think the lack of being able to throw and possibly moving the ball downfield with these receivers will hurt y'all when it comes to the season's over and then there's a transfer portal? Because we know wide receivers can be divas. We know they
Well,
can.
that's what I'm nervous about with Deuce Knight. Like after this year, is he gonna
If he
leave?
doesn't start next, no, he'll start. He has to start next year. There's no way that he does not start next year.
Well, I'm saying he'll if he stays after this year.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like if if he stays, he will be the starting quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they're if they were to be like, yeah, you'll be in a quarterback battle, he's gone for sure.
Yeah.
But um, no, he absolutely has to start next year. Too much talent.
You think you think
But
that
like
the receivers will stay?
Cam Coleman's probably gonna stay. I think he's gonna stay.
Yeah,
Singleton, I think he can declare.
I think so
So
too.
if he has a decent enough year, he'll declare. But the other two, Perry Thompson and Malcolm
I hope Perry
Simmons,
stays.
I hope I hope both of them stay.
Well,
But if they can't spread the ball around, I mean,
Right.
that being said, Deuce Knight will be the starter next year, so I think they'll be more attractive to receivers if anything else.
Fair. I do like that. To Noah, man, oh man, I never seen anyone pray for an Auburn downfall than I did on Friday night at back 40. Brother, what stuck out to you in this game and what happened to the Baylor Bears?
I did not account for Jackson Arnold's legs and then Baylor's lack of athleticism. All right. They were doing fine against the pass. They weren't doing splendid. They weren't doing terrible. But they were doing fine against the pass. That rush, though, that run, they couldn't stop that for shit. Jackson Arnold put up more rushing yards than he did passing yards. For a quarterback, that's insane. All right?
Stupid.
Baylor fell apart at the line, any run play. Fell apart. And then no one in the secondary is athletic enough, apparently, to catch some white dude quarterback. I don't get it.
He runs like a white dude too, pissing me off.
He does. It's terrible. It's
Little
unathletic.
short,
He
stubby
runs
legs,
like
just
melted
chopping
ice
away.
cream.
He's got the running
Like,
form of a saltine cracker.
now, I think I hate Auburn. All right, I hate them. Been raised that way. A lot of hate for Auburn, but much better team than y'all were last year. I think y'all go 8-4.
I got you. I got you. Yeah, I mean, y'all kind of hashed over all this game. I think the big takeaway is, as for Auburn fans, I know how I would feel. Would be, I would feel as if I'd be like Zach. I'd feel a little bit nervous, and I don't think I'd be much as nervous as moving the ball downfield. To me, it's going to be how sustainable can it be by keeping Jackson Arnold healthy. I mean, as a quarterback that's going to take off that many times, he's going to take shots. He's going to get hit. They're going to look to hit him. Let maybe play to the echo of the whistle, hit him out of bounds. They're gonna do something. And but on the bright side, though, for everybody that was doubting his confidence and this, that, and the other, I mean, running the ball that many times and just saying, "Nah, I don't worry about it. I'll get it done. It don't matter what happens. I'll die on this field." As a fan, you can't be more stoked about that than I mean, that was truly unbelievable in the fact that he just turned into Lamar Jackson on 80% of the plays and said, "Yeah, don't worry about it. I got it." But
With as many
that's
hits
your
as that
guy.
dude takes, like watching him work through his progressions after an entire offseason of doing just that, I'd almost be excited to see Deuce Knight if he were to, get hurt. Like I like the motion. I like the wheels he's got on him. Throw the damn ball.
Looking at some stats, almost split kind of evenly here. First downs, Auburn had 25 to Baylor's 23. You look at plays to yards, you had 69 plays for 415 yards for Auburn. Baylor
Nice.
here had 72 plays for 483 yards, torched in the second half, but it didn't matter. You had a Jackson Arnold just putting the game on his back. So it is what it is. I think you just roll with the punches when it comes to
Yeah.
that, and hopefully you can score 35 plus every game, which I think y'all have I think you're very capable of doing. Rushing yards, you had Auburn's 52 plays for 307 yards. Again, most of that by Jackson Arnold. Baylor, man, 24 carries for 64 yards. That you ain't winning a football game doing that. Passing yards. This is kind of comical. Auburn 108 passing yards to Baylor's 419. That is insane. And then again, kind of a
Yo,
trend here with these winning teams. Winning teams stay on the field, man. Auburn had 33 minutes of possession, while Baylor only had 26, nearly 27. All right, it's time. It's time. My my past 4 days, my mood, huh?
yeah. Sorry, I got to bounce real quick. There.
It's a game
It's
that
about to
I
get
did
good,
not
man.
expect to see go the way it did. I think I actually had Alabama in this game like 42-10. And brother, I couldn't have been more wrong. Not only did we get beat by Florida State, you let them talk to you all summer the way that you did, and they walked you down. And there wasn't nothing you did about it. Nothing. You didn't make a stop, no effort. I mean, we'll cover that here in a minute. But, I mean, you see the score 31-17 to my beloved Alabama Crimson Tide. Me and Noah definitely were rolling in our graves while Ramsey and Zach were definitely dancing on our graves. But, I mean, Ramsey, starting with you, man, what stuck out to you in this game? And we all know that when this gets to me, I've got a rant coming.
I'm ready to hear it. I would say effort.
Yeah.
Where was
I
it?
know that's what you wanted to say. Effort was not there. And y'all, I think both sides of the
You
line
you can be
that y'all
honest.
had,
You
I
can
think
be
they just
brutally
got
honest.
tore up. They it started off like watching the first drive. It was like, all right, this is my hate watch. I hope all the bad shit happens, and then by the end of it, I'm like, damn, this is kind of sad. What happened to him? Felt a little bad for y'all, especially after him saying that.
Dude, you don't got no clue.
That's wild. But hey, maybe it's a little bit of karma for all y'all's years of success. I was in middle school crying, praying for bad shit to happen to y'all,
Here it is.
getting bullied for being an Auburn
Noah,
fan. So now
I know you had a
it's
tough time
bittersweet.
watching this one, and I know you said before we even aired that you didn't even finish the game. For the game you did watch, what stuck out to you?
I mean, I made it halfway through the fourth quarter. All right, like I didn't turn it off at halftime, but like, let's just look at it. Okay, let's look 5 years ago. Nick Saban's the coach. Look at how the lines play. As soon as that ball is snapped on either side of the ball, the lines are going after it. They're going crazy. They're picking up what they need to. They're going after the ball or they're protecting the ball, and they're doing great. They're playing like their lives depend on it. Because with Nick Saban as your coach, they kind of did. But now you watch tape from the FSU game. They're coming slow off the line. They're giving up their assignments pretty quick. I mean, these FSU boys, they're not bad, but they're not elite. They're not Ohio State defenders out there. I mean, the effort's just not there. You look back at the the press conferences where all the Alabama players were being like, "Ooh, disrespect will be addressed." Like, it's just talk. Like, they just doing that for the camera. I feel like that's what this team's become. They just they're just in it for the publicity. They think that if they touch the field, they're gonna win by some magic play of God. But there's like a really big culture problem in
Yeah.
Alabama, and we're not gonna have a great season unless that gets fixed.
They need to ban TikTok over there.
Dude, they need to do more than that.
Mm.
Take away their
That's what they
NIL
need to do.
deals. Take away their
Or needs to
deals.
ban TikTok.
I have some stats for you
All right,
before we even
coach.
get started on this. Let me pull these up. had them saved from the very end of the game. All right. I'll start with the winner. I'll start with Florida State. Man, did you back up the talk and do exactly what you said you were going to do? And, um, I mean, you dominated. From every standpoint of the game, you dominated. You look at Tommy Castellanos here. Let's go look at his performance. This is going to pay me to say he threw the ball 14 times and only completed 9 of them. He had a total of 224 yards, and I think 143 came to those 9 passes, and he had 1 touchdown. You dominated, man. The run game y'all had dominated. And as much as you should give those like credit to the players, I think a lot of credit needs to go to Mike Norvell and Gus, man. Not only did you take a 2-10 team and completely reform and transform them with 35, I think, transfers, and really got it done. I mean, hats off to you. All my respect. The atmosphere was incredible. Play calling again, incredible. And you dominated. There's really no other simple way to put that. But now getting to Alabama. Your first drive was absolute textbook. Sitting here watching it at home, it was absolute textbook. You drive down the field, you eat up almost half of the first quarter, and then score pretty easily. You made it look easy. You left yourself with 3rd and shorts the whole drive, got it done. Run game was working for 1 drive. In that first drive, I'd like to note that we had 55 yards rushing on that first drive. Can anyone tell me what we ended the game with? I think you're right. I think it was like
much more
85,
than
86, whatever it was.
It was like 87.
How does that happen? How does that happen? That can't happen. You go and look, and a lot of people are like, if you go look at some of these Alabama fans, they're like, Ty Simpson, get rid of him. He's the problem. The dude wasn't the problem. I mean, did some of his reads kind of like were they just slow? Yes, I think that's growing pains. I think that was to be expected. I don't think anyone in there or anyone in the country had Ty Simpson being some absolute beast that can throw and run and get it done on all aspects of the field. He did his job. He gave effort. He put his face right in the fan and said, "Bring it." He did everything he should do. Another player that needs to get recognized for the effort that they gave was Jeremy Bernard. I think he had 149 receiving yards? Carried. Did not matter the score. I don't even think he even looked up at the scoreboard until he was getting water. That's besides the point. Let's talk about this defense. They ran through your ass like shit through a tin horn, man.
Woo.
Dominated you.
Brother.
Up front. Dominated. And it wasn't the fact that you were giving effort and you were just overcommitting on things, just being aggressive. Like sometimes during the Vanderbilt game, you saw Alabama get aggressive and Vanderbilt take advantage of it. You saw a complete lack of effort. I mean, let's talk about Bray Hubbard. I mean, you're supposed to be the guy that's one of the top safeties in the SEC. Come down, lay the boom, play in coverage. You only let up 43 yards passing on you last year. And I know you only got to start half the time, but you really stepped up last year. What the hell was that? I turn on the game, and I'm watching, and I see you jog on some backside help. You definitely could have got there. What the hell was that? Another thing. At the end of the game, you see Alabama's defensive linemen. There's 2 of them. I can't remember their names or their numbers at the moment, but I see it in my mind. They're laughing and smiling. For all the people that had hate for Malachi Moore's spiel that he had at Vanderbilt, throwing the mouthpiece, kicking the ball, being extra, Man, I'd rather have that than what I saw this weekend, man. Shows effort, shows that you actually care about the game. Now,
He cared.
I mean, if you look at it, I think it's a failure on every end. I think uh, defensively you failed. Couldn't cover a run. A mobile quarterback, God Almighty, a mobile quarterback steps on the field. He can have lateral movement of a traffic cone, and you're still not going to pick it up. He's still going to run for 240 on your dome. He's going to give you 21 straight to the eyeballs without throwing. Don't worry about it. Um, Now going, yeah, we're out here. We're messing up the basics,
Reed, what do you
man.
think about the
Out
missed
here arm
tackles?
tackling. Yeah, what are we doing? Wrap somebody up.
Deontay Lawson.
Now for the coaching. Ryan Grubb, whatever you did the first drive, brother, I'd go back and rewatch that film, and I would do that every time, or I'd try to replicate it. It may not be perfect, but that first drive looked pretty good. After that, horseshit. You go and look at DeBoer after the game. I believe that we got a great team. And listen, I know this is a little bit of a overreaction, but you cannot be calm and be the good guy all the time. You know, I think a lot of this has to do with NIL stuff. I think a lot of it has to do that these players nowadays want to get on social media and it's all about following this, that, and the other. Let me tell you, if you don't get your damn act together, this football team, you're going to get smoked. You're going to get smoked. You may win this weekend. You may win next weekend because you play two terrible teams. They're absolutely terrible. And you'll look great for 2 games. But guess what, brother? You go to Georgia. I can go ahead and tell you Kirby Smart's team's not going to be on BS. It's going to be real. And it's going to be in your grill. And if you don't change something, that game's going to get ugly. Then you go and look at the SEC schedule. Well, brother, welcome to Oklahoma. You play Oklahoma at some point in the season. They got John Mateer. He's going to go 400 on your dome. You better lock the hell in. You go and look at any of the other teams. You play Nussmeier. You play LSU. Good luck. If that product shows up on the field in these next coming games, especially with this SEC schedule, you're not going to win many of those games. You're going to get smoked. So I think a lot's got to change. I think a lot's got to change in the locker room. I think if you look at these leaders, I don't think there's any leadership. I really don't. We got guys, and let me tell you, let me start with this. I love Ryan Williams, man. I love him. Lily wrote a paper about him, about why he is better than Coleman. But as of late, bro, in your last 10 football games, you've gone under 100 yards and you haven't shown up. You're doing a podcast, you're Twitch streaming, we're painting nails, which I got no problem with if you're going to do right on the field and get shit done at practice. I got no problem. You do you. When stuff's going great, it's going good. When it's not, well, shit's hitting the fan. Can we stop bringing support animals, like support stuffed animals to the game? I'm gonna be honest. If I'm stepping on the field, which I know I'm not, I'm watching from the couch. I'm gonna be honest. Ryan Williams could probably run right through my face. It is what it is. But if I'm one of these players, and I'm definitely one of these Florida State linebackers, probably the one that drilled him, and I see him with painted nails and a stuffed animal on the field, nah, I got that. We won already. That's all I needed to see. There's no dog. There's no fight with anybody on this team outside of Ty Simpson's performance and Jeremy Bernard's performance. I think a lot's got to change in the locker room. Kind of relating back to Alabama teams previously. I mean, you heard Noah talk about it. If you look at teams 5 years ago, give me a dude that ends the game with other teams' paint on his helmet. Give me a guy that wears a neck roll or one of those back braces or a flak jacket. Where the hell did that go? Where's Reuben Foster grabbing somebody on the sidelines and getting right in their grill over a missed assignment when it's a 52-17 game? Where's that at? Where's that leadership at? I think you got a locker room that has some men. I think you got a lot of locker room that has a lot of followers. Then you need to cut that shit out. The shit ain't sweet. You got to really dominate. God, I can keep going about this game. As for DeBoer, hey man, you're a great coach. It's proven. I'm not one of these guys that say get rid of him, fire him. You know you shouldn't. He knows ball. He can play. But I think you got to really tone it in. I think at practice, hey man, let's start tucking shirts in at practice. Let's cut the music off. Let's cut the shit and get straight to it. I want nothing but just helmets hitting people all day. I want passes to have sizzle on them. I want running backs to make moves. I want to hear communication. I need it all. I need to hear screaming. I need to hear yelling. Missed assignment. We're not going to be like, oh, it's okay. We're up by 10 in the fourth quarter with 3 minutes left. It ain't a game. Nah, bullshit. Don't give me that. I need everything you got. Um, but again, for DeBoer, I think if you keep losing games like that, where it's just non-competitive and effort is really in the question, you're not going to be around here long. I think a normal or just a fan of football and someone who understands ball, I think if you lose a game, so be it. If it's a hard-fought game, so be it. Sometimes you get beat. It's football. You don't see many undefeated seasons anymore. You're going to lose one. It's okay. It's fine. But I'm not okay with losing to a team where you just got outclassed in every aspect and effort was a question. That should never have been a question. Were they more talented than you roster wise? No. Was their play calling better? Yes. Was their effort better? Yes. You saw Alabama play with no fire, no passion. So I think a lot's got to change there. But with saying that, I know all that was an overreaction. That was a rant. Probably said some things I shouldn't have said, but it is what it is. You can look at this one of two ways. You can say that Alabama's going to be terrible, and we're really going to have to question effort, and we'll be lucky if we win 7 games. Or you can look at it like this. If you're an Alabama fan, you can become the biggest fan of Florida State, and you can try to understand ball and watch Florida State in September and root for them. And if they do good and they end up being a contender, which by that performance, hey, they're in my running. I know. Yeah, decent team.
They
I
looked
think
like they
that's a good
looked
team.
like
I
it.
think that's great play
That was a good
calling. I
team.
think it was just great all the way around. I think if that was to happen, I think you can better look at yourself and just understand that, hey, you may have just walked into a hornet's nest. Maybe they are a really good team. There's 2 ways of looking at this. And I think if you're Alabama going forward, I think I think you should adopt that old Saban mindset. Don't look at the damn scoreboard. Don't look at the schedule. Don't get on social media. Don't talk. Just do your job to the best that you can do it. That's all I ask. If you're going to lose one, you're going to lose one. That happens. But I don't need to turn on the TV and have my mental go into a spiral over effort. That can't happen. So, that being said, I do think we bounce back against Louisiana Monroe, and I think we do against Wisconsin, and we may possibly go in and beat Georgia. But that's just me, and I may retract that statement. I wrote it in pencil instead of pen, so in 2 weeks I may retract that. But for right now, that's what I believe, and it is what it is. That was it for our games that we covered last week that we thought were the big games. Had some boring games to watch, had some exciting games to watch, picked a few right, picked a few wrong. Saw a massive upset in week 1. I mean, if you're a fan of college football, I think it's wide open this year. Yeah, I don't think you watched any team this weekend and was
Yeah,
like,
what a
yes,
weekend. What
that
a way to
is the
start.
clear
Yeah.
cut favorite. I like that team 100%, and that's that. I think it's wide open for everybody. What is it?
How about TCU? That
Yeah,
TCU
It
UNC
felt
game
like
that
the
was
Florida
that
State
was a rough
Alabama game,
watch.
man. North
that was a
Carolina's
tough one,
first
yeah.
drive,
I
green
think Bill and
beans,
his
butter.
girl
Welcome to NFL play calling, brother. After that, it was pure dumpster fire. You had Michael Jordan in attendance, and you roll that out there. That's a tough look, but we'll see how they
Dude,
bounce back. I think he needs a little bit more time there to get players in if he even stays. Uh,
think him and his girl got into it. I think it was messing with his
But
head or something. I
Yeah,
don't
his
know.
anyways, I
24-year-old. He probably had to
digress.
drop
Yeah.
her out of
Check
daycare.
back in with me next week. Next Wednesday, you'll find us here. But moving on, I wish Zach could have saw that and experienced that. Just kind of some. This is just me. Just some
Yeah, I do
small
too.
stuff that if you weren't watching all these games this weekend, just kind of tell you how things went. Michigan played great. Their Bryce Underwood, he's the real deal quarterback. I mean, you're the number one player in the country for a reason. I mean, he went 21 for 31 passing, 251 yards to the air, and one TD, which was great. Of course, we talked about Tommy Castellanos, dominated. You saw John Mateer break Baker's record. You go and look, he was 30 for 37 passing, 416 total yards, 4 touchdowns. I mean, that dude's an absolute killer. Definitely will be up for Heisman at the end, I think. And then go look at Justice Haynes, man. I mean, the kid transferred from Alabama because he wasn't getting touches. Goes to Michigan, absolutely dominates, and has a monster debut. 16 carries, 159 yards, 3 touchdowns. To the apartment 3 times. Wish I could have saw that in a Crimson uniform this weekend, but I didn't.
Huh.
But I digress. You go to look at Utah. Man, that coach does nothing but win. They're Devin Dampier, 21 to 25 passing, 293 total yards, 3 tuds, and an absolute domination. Uh, and then one more to cover, and this was, in my opinion, to be expected. Nico's performance against Utah, that was terrible. In your UCLA homecoming debut, this man goes 11 for 22, 136, 1 TD, 1 pick. Underperforming, but that is to be expected with the UCLA Bruins and their football staff. But that's just kind of some key stuff I wanted to touch on. One thing I didn't mention either was Tennessee's performance. That quarterback played out of his mind, and hats off to them. I think they found their guy. But yeah, now let's get into some of these games. I have a few games. I know Noah has a few games. Ramsey has a few games. And we'll give our picks on these. But first, let's start with that Ole Miss versus Kentucky. First SEC game of the season. How are we feeling with that one, starting with Ramsey? All right, I got Ramsey and Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss easy.
Ole Miss easy.
Okay.
Easy.
Okay, we'll see
I
about
hope. I
that.
hope. I don't know. They put up 63 first game. I didn't see how Kentucky did, but
No, what do you got on this game?
I mean,
Yeah,
Ole Miss wins. All right, I mean, they do. They're a better team offensively. They don't have a bad defense, but I don't think it's gonna be easy. It's in Lexington. Kentucky has a defense like they always do, and then also they're just always kind of a wild card, at least to me.
no, they have gone better.
They beat Toledo, which isn't anything crazy, but Toledo is not as bad as Illinois State, like Michigan played. But um, they they're gonna lose. Kentucky is mm, I think they did not pass really at all. I think
yes.
that they were sub 100 yards passing versus Toledo. And I think that's going to kill them. They're a one-dimensional team. If you're only throwing 85 yards versus Toledo, you got a problem. So Ole Miss gets it done, but I don't think it's going to be anything crazy as far as like 40-10 or anything like that. I think Kentucky has a defense.
All right,
So
I
I
am
think it's
with
going to be a good
y'all on
game,
that.
but
Y'all didn't
Ole
really
Miss
have
is
to
going to
do
win.
much convincing for me there. I think I had Ole Miss all the way. If you go look at the betting odds, this game is in Kentucky at Kroger Field. It's a horrible name, but you go look at this game. If you go by point spread, Ole Miss is favored by 10.5 points. Total over under is around 50 to 50 and a half, depending on which site you look at. If you go look at Moneyline on ESPN.com, Kentucky is plus 300, Ole Miss is minus 400. And looking at ESPN analytics and prediction, Ole Miss is predicted to win with 83.6% chance of winning to Kentucky's only 16.4% chance of winning. I think what really comes down to this one, I think Ole Miss is just a head and shoulders better ball club than Kentucky. I mean, if you break down that roster, you break down quarterback play, I think Ole Miss just separates itself in every aspect of the game. You look at Austin Simmons, the Ole Miss quarterback, in his first career start. He had 341 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, week one. Um, you look at their running back play at, I think it's, see if I'm saying this right, I may mess it up, Q1 Lacey. Uh, he ex- he exploded with
I have
108
you too.
rushing yards, 3 TDs.
Keelan
You look at
Mason.
the wide receiver play. You saw Harrison Wallace the third get tallied for 130 receiving yards in week one. I mean, pure domination. I know they didn't really play anybody. Um, I would like to note that Kentucky's running backs did come to play last week as well. They had 129 rushing yards and a TD, and that was Dante Dowdle. Um, but yeah, I think it really comes down to just upfront performance and overall athletes on the field. I think Ole Miss gets this done in Lexington, no problem. And I think the QB play will just be better. Um, Also, I'd like to note this that this may be a revenge motivation game because Ole Miss is motivated to flip the script after last year's loss to Kentucky, and that was brutal to watch last year. Now it's a defense first mentality, and this can make this game get out of hand and even be double digits. But we digress and we move on. All right, another game. I know Noah did not have this one. I think I may have the only one that had this one, but it's USF versus Florida. Um, we look at this game. Where are we at with it? You look at this game and you can pick Florida all the way easy. I don't think so. I think Florida does win this game. I think that USF does keep it competitive, does keep it tight. If you watch their game this past weekend, I mean that team can play, man. Dominated Boise up and down the field all night. Um, but I think Florida does get it done purely off the talent they have. I mean, you look at DJ Lagway, that kid can play. That kid can spin it. He can run through people. He's the real deal.
Yeah,
But I do have Florida in this one in a tight one. I know this game is in the swamp. Ramsey, what do you got on this game?
I do think Florida will win, but I think it will be much closer than
Yeah,
people think. I remember as a kid, I went and watched Auburn USF game. USF beat us. It's one of my first memories of going to the Auburn games. That's tough. But if I were
yeah,
Brown for USF, I think he will create some problems. How he runs the
absolutely.
ball,
He is an exciting player
put
to
his head
watch.
down.
Noah, what do you
It's
got on
fun to
this game?
watch.
I got Florida.
Yeah,
Um, More well-rounded team, in my opinion. USF got an absolute dog at QB. Um, he treated Boise State like that was his son. So, but
yeah, it's in the swamp.
I do think Florida is it in the swamp? I didn't look at this game, but it is in the swamp.
All right.
Yeah,
The
Florida gets
next
this game done for
game
sure.
I had for me was Baylor versus SMU. Um, I kind of don't know where to go on this one, man. I mean, as SMU real? Are they still as good as they were last year? Does Baylor bounce back? Because some people have, if you go look at the betting odds, I think Baylor was
No,
favorited or not favorited, but predicted or had the fourth best odds to win the Big 12. Right now, my gut is leaning SMU. That may change right at kickoff, but my gut for now and what I'm going to go with is SMU over Baylor. I think this game is at SMU. I think it's called Ford Field. Um, I can actually look that up. Yeah. Uh, Another reason I'm leaning with SMU here. I mean, Kevin Jennings is a dog. I mean, he can play. Um, you just look at their total offense. I think it's better. They have a better defense than uh, Auburn, and Auburn got torched by Baylor, especially in the secondary. But I do think this game's tight. I think Baylor puts up a good fight. But again, I don't think they get it done this weekend either. So I'm gonna roll with SMU. Ramsey, what you got on this one?
I got Baylor. I think Sawyer. I think he comes back, and I don't know. Just being an Auburn fan, I hope they have a
Yeah.
great year the rest of the year. Make that Auburn win look a little better. But I don't think they're a bad team at all, and I just
All
hope it.
right.
I hope I'm not
Noah,
wrong.
what do you got on this game, brother?
Um, I think Baylor loses. We saw in the Auburn game they can't stop the run for anything. Um, SMU, it's not a primary like a run primary team, but they're not bad at running at all. They put up 140 last week, which I mean they were playing a bunch of plumbers, but they still I thought they did pretty good. Um, I think that if they get that run game going, especially if they get Jennings involved in it, their quarterback, um, they're gonna walk Baylor by
Alrighty.
a
That was the
touchdown and a
first
field
one
goal
we
at
had a
least.
split decision on. But this one, biggest game
Yeah,
of the
we'll see.
weekend. It's Michigan versus Oklahoma at Oklahoma. Fellas, where are you leaning with this one?
Give me Oklahoma. Give me the Sooners.
In pen? You want me to put it in
Give me
pen?
Mateer for Heisman too. You can put it in pencil. We may have to change that, but
Facts.
hey, Jackson Arnold as a dark horse, low
Uh,
key. Yeah, I may seem crazy now.
I don't think
so
Michigan's
you're also
secondary is
rolling
that
with
great.
Oklahoma
I
on this
think
one.
Mateer's gonna tear it up. Um, yeah, I think that
Yeah.
he's gonna do good in the second on passing against them. Um, and I think that's gonna be the key point in this game. They do have a good D line. Michigan does, so that's gonna be interesting to see how he does under pressure. But I think they get it done. It's gonna be a really close game. They have Michigan is 6.5 point underdogs. I think they cover that spread. I think they maybe I'm
Interesting.
wrong, but I think they lose by like a field goal.
You know what? I watched Michigan play this weekend. I watched Bryce Underwood play. Michigan played great. Thought everything went right for them. I thought the quarterback play was unbelievable. I really thought the running back play was unbelievable and really separated itself from everything else. And then I flipped the channel. I watched Oklahoma play. I watched John Mateer absolutely carve people up. Does he do it to the extent that he did this past weekend? No. But I do think he gets it done against Michigan. I got Oklahoma in this one. I think this game may be close until about the third quarter, and I think the fourth it kind of pulls away. I couldn't really tell you a score, but I think this may be a shootout. I think Oklahoma may take this thing by 10, but I think we're going to see a lot of points scored here today
I like
or
it.
that weekend. If we go and look at the at some like key breakdown stuff for Michigan and Oklahoma. Um, the real big thing is, or like the key decider for this is the John Mantier threat, man. I mean, transfer QB from Washington State, dual threat star last season, threw for 3,000, over 3,000 yards and rushed for 826 yards, 15 tuds, 15 times to the apartments. Um, he is reunited with his old OC that was at Washington State, and that is Ben Arbuckle. Dude can call plays. This is his quarterback. He knows how to get it done. But looking on the Michigan side of the ball, hey man, you got a freshman QB, Bryce Underwood, who is a great athlete, great talent. He is very hard nosed. I don't know if anyone watched that game, but he was out there throwing blocks. He didn't care. He said, "I'm gonna pitch the rock and I'm gonna hit somebody right in their jaw." Didn't matter. I like to see that out of him, but I don't think it's his time yet. I think you give him next year and then the year after. I think he'll be an unbelievable quarterback. But kind of looking for Michigan, man. If you really want to dominate this game, you're going to need Bryce Underwood and Justice Haynes to really step up here. You're going to need them to have career games, honestly, in my opinion, which isn't impossible, but to me, very unlikely. I do think they play great, but I don't think it's going to be good enough. I think they fall just short. Um, if you go look at some of these other stats. If you actually let's take a look at the betting. I think Noah touched on this. I think the spread Oklahoma's flavored by 5.5. And this is just across FanDuel and BetMGM. If you go money line, Oklahoma is at 196 or negative 196, while Michigan is at plus 162 at the time of recording. The over or under kind of depending on what site you use. You have 45.5 and 47.5. Again, that just depends on what source you're using to bet. And then the public betting sentiment has a slight lean towards Oklahoma, covering about 53% of the bets favor Oklahoma. So I think I'm going to roll with the crowd on this one. I think I am going to be a follower, and I am going to pick Oklahoma. But with that being said, again, I do think it's a shootout. This game is on the road for Michigan. It is in Oklahoma. You're going to get to hear Boomer Sooner all night long. I think you're going to see a very intense defense, and this is the freshman's first time going on the road. I think that's just going to be a challenge and a little bit too much. So, yeah, we have Oklahoma in this one. I think everyone has Oklahoma. I think the only thing that really stood out to us was Ramsey did go with Baylor. But he beat me last week. He knows more ball than I do if we go off week one, but I'm bound to make a bounce back recovery. Wasn't banking on Alabama getting absolutely smoked out of the building, but it is what it is. But fellas, that is it for this one.
Yeah.
Everybody, this was a podcast full of adversity. You saw Alabama fans having to relish in the fact that Auburn did win this weekend, which, in my opinion, I was glad to see. That was a good watch. You also got to see me go on a rant for, I think, what was it, 25 some odd minutes of just ranting. We had
It was
technical
good. It was
difficulties.
good.
I
It
stopped
was beautiful.
recording.
I liked it. Yeah.
We're 0 for 2 on finishing a podcast with the same people that started the podcast, which is interesting. But, if we keep doing this a few more times, maybe we'll make some upgrades in the near future so we can have more crisp, clean process. Yeah,
Well, we got to develop a little too. It's only
Rand,
good.
did you look at the Miss State game this week?
Huh?
Did
Mississippi
you look at the
State
Miss
game?
State? Did you look at the Mississippi State game?
give me
No,
Arizona
not
State.
really.
That ain't even on our pick'em sheet, but I'll pick them
I
anyway.
Sorry.
thought that was gonna be a good game.
Yeah, give me Arizona
Nah,
State. I would take
bruh.
that over Mississippi
They
State.
Them
showed me
Cowboys,
Southern Miss, my boy.
Are annoying as hell. They're
what do
just
y'all think it's
annoying.
by? What do y'all think the? No, I wasn't gonna pick them. I'm just saying it's gonna be close.
Well,
I don't think it's
Close
gonna be a
game.
blowout.
I mean,
guys,
it
I
is at
look
Mississippi
forward to
State.
watching these games, as do all y'all. I'll probably see some of y'all this weekend. Hopefully, we'll be in better spirits than we were last weekend when it came to watching football, because some of that was brutal to watch. And then maybe you may see me Wednesday with a different attitude about Alabama. Uh, but who knows? But thank you again for joining us. Thank you, fellas, for being a part. It's always awesome, always a pleasure. And until next time, fellas, see ya.
See y'all.
All right. See ya.